Hey guys, it's Spoil Loco here with your weekly video, and in today's topic I'm going to be talking about some reasons to say no to a dance. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because a lot of people typically feel bad about telling someone no, and that's typically the kind of person that I am. I don't like to tell people no because I know what it feels like to be rejected. I think a lot of people know what it's like to be rejected, and they don't want to impose that on someone else. But obviously, there are some very good reasons, and the biggest reason is because you are number one. I'll explain what that means here in a moment. Um, but yeah, basically, not everyone likes to say no. I know that myself in the last 13, 14 years that I've been dancing, I can literally count on two hands how many times I've told someone no. That's a true story. And the reason is because that's just me. That's how I am. But not everybody can accommodate to everyone else, and not everybody wants to, and you don't have to. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the physical side of why you should say no, or why it's okay to say no, right? So the first one is pain. A lot of people do have pain, whether they just had an accident, whether they just got someone stepped on their toe while they were dancing, they just got hit, whatever the case may be. I'm a prime example of this. I was run over about a year and a half ago. A lot of you guys know this, but I broke both of my pelvis, my leg. I had a huge laceration on my back. I'm very lucky to be alive, very lucky to be dancing. And when I go dancing, believe it or not, I still have a lot of pain. A lot of people look at me and say, "Oh, it doesn't look like you've missed a beat. You look like you're back to where you are." I am not where I was before. I can guarantee you that. And I dance through a lot of pain. I dance through a lot of fatigue. I don't have the stamina that I used to before. And a lot of people like myself will push themselves, and I don't feel like I'm faking it when I'm out there, but I do have to push myself, because if not, then I would, if I really, if I let it get to me, I would, you know, it would bring me down. Now, some people aren't worried about what bringing themselves down. They don't want to be party poopers. They don't want to, you know, feel like they're out spoiling the party. And there's a lot of different things that could go on. Over the last few years, I've met a lot of people that have different illnesses as well. This is something that I didn't even know about because I don't have anyone in my family affected by it. But over the last few years, I've met people who have autoimmune diseases like fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, so on and so forth. And a lot of these people will go out dancing and they don't have the feeling of, oh, I'm in pain, oh, I'm tired, oh, whatever the case is going on with my body, right? They will get out there, and then once they get there, it just takes over. Their disease kicks in, and they might be very pleasant and upbeat 1 minute, and then the next they just don't want to be there anymore. And if they've already made a commitment, or if maybe they're trying to meet with a friend, they might wait, or whatever the case may be, right? So they try to be accommodating, but deep inside, they might not want to be there anymore, and they feel like they have to. And if they're there and they tell you no, they have a very good reason, because they're trying to take care of their bodies, right? Again, I can push through the pain. The doctors told me that it was okay to do that, but not everybody else has the same privileges, right? So again, you're number one. You have to take care of yourself. So if you have to say no, then say no. The second thing is discomfort. This has to do with multiple things, but these are some of the biggest ones. The first one I put on there is hygiene, right? If you don't wear deodorant, if you don't have cologne, if you haven't showered, if you just ate something that's gross and you have funky breath, if you have a shirt that you haven't changed and you're very sticky, someone might not want to dance with you. Alternatively, if you douse yourself in cologne or perfume and no one wants to get high off of that, then they might not want to dance with you as well. You have creepiness. That's very important, especially over the last few years as bachata has risen. This can happen in any dance, but I see it particularly more in the bachata side because people like to make it a little bit more sensual. And what ends up happening is people think they're styling and doing different things, and to the person that's watching or to the person that they're dancing with, it feels like someone's being groped. And if someone's out there and it looks like they're groping everyone, nobody wants to be groped. I mean, I guess some people might, right? But ultimately, no one wants to dance with someone that's being creepy. Particularly if you're a man. Men have natural things that happen with their bodies when they get aroused. And if you're the kind of person who can't control that and you have a situation going on in your pants, it's probably better that you sit out and don't dance while that's happening. And if that does happen while you're dancing, then I would suggest not dancing so close so that it's not obvious to your partner who you're pressed up against or whatever the case may be. And I would make sure that when the dance is done that you maybe sit for a bit and relax. It's very important that you're not this creepy person, because the bad thing about people who are creeps, this happens with everybody who creates discomfort, but particularly in this one right here, this category, if you fit that category, everybody will know before the night is over. Most likely. That's very bad. You don't want to be that person. The next thing has to do with roughness. This has to do not only with men who lead and yank their partners around, but also women. I know a lot of women who I go to hold on to them. They put their arm over top and they cramp down on my arm like they're holding on for dear life, right? My arm is now like their clutch purse and there's a thief in the room and they're just squeezing the heck out of me. That can cause pain, but a lot of times it just makes the dance very limiting. I have ways of accommodating to that. Again, this is one of the reasons why if that person might come and ask me to dance, I probably won't say no. I'll just find a way to accommodate them and to not be basically handled in that manner. But not everybody knows how to do those things. Not everybody wants to do those things. And one of the things that I notice about myself, part of the reason why I have hardly told anybody no is because I also have another skill set. If somebody comes up to me, or if somebody's across the room and they make eye contact with me, and I know that if they see me looking at them, they're going to come ask me to dance right away, I will, as I make contact, I will find a way to glaze over and I will immediately find someone to dance or whatever the case may be. And before they get there, now I don't have to say no, right? So this is definitely something, a very helpful tip. And that's something that has helped me to not have to say no as many times. But again, you don't have to do that. You could just let them come up to you and say no because you are number one, right? You don't know anybody anything, and that also includes a reason as to why you tell them no. Now I'm going to go on to the next reason. Basically, sometimes people are busy. Their friends show up, they haven't seen them in a long time, whether they just had a family and they hadn't gone out for a bit, or whether they're from out of town, you're at a congress, right? And someone might look at you and say, well, why are you here if you're not going to dance? Well, maybe that was your intention, but once you got there and you saw your friends there, everything changed. The atmosphere changed. It wasn't what you expected. Now you have a different goal. I made a previous video that talked about why do you go out to dance? If you go out to dance for a certain reason, then you do that. But it doesn't mean that your reason can't change, right? So if you get there and your reason changes, then you focus on that. You do what makes you happy because you're number one. If you have to change your shoes, if you have to change your shirts, if you have to use the bathroom, if you have to take an important phone call, those are all good reasons to say no. My suggestion, I've underlined obviously the more positive reasons. What I mean by that is that if you tell someone, no, I can't dance right now because I'm in pain, that has nothing to do with the other person, right? So technically, the person who gets rejected shouldn't feel bad for this reason, right? Or for this reason right here. Now, they probably feel bad if they have bad hygiene and you tell them no because you stink, or no because you're a creeper and you need to handle the situation that's going on in your pants, or I don't want you touching me. I've seen how you've touched everyone else on the floor and I don't feel comfortable, right? Those things, those are some very hard no's, and a lot of people I think generally don't like to give those. And I think that a lot of people, when they struggle saying no, is because they think that the person who they tell no for these reasons is going to take it like it's something else, right? It's going to be something personal or something that's going to be hurtful or offensive. But ultimately, like I said, you're number one. You have to take care of yourself. And I even had someone recently, I've never had this happen before until very recently. I asked someone to dance. I was very tired, had a lot of fatigue. At the end of the dance, and this was a good friend of mine, we enjoyed dancing with each other all the time. One of my favorite dancers, I'm sure I'm one of her favorite dancers as well from our conversations. And basically the song was over, and I was told basically that I should have just stayed seated because I was dancing with her, and I clearly also was not. My head was somewhere else. I was very tired. I might have been like half asleep dancing in a zombie mode. And I do that probably because I just want to try to dance as much as I can. I don't like saying no. It's someone I enjoy dancing with. And what do I get afterwards? You were too tired. You should have just said no, right? because obviously I didn't give them the dance that they deserved. And that's something that I had never even really thought about before. Obviously, all these things have to do with that same thing. If you don't want to dance with someone and you feel like you're being forced to dance with them, you're not going to give them a good dance, right? And that's a good reason enough as well. But I had never had actually someone tell me you should have just sat down. So yeah, maybe I should have given that no. Anyways, think about it, guys. A lot of different things going on here. If you have any other good reasons that you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments. I'm sure there's tons of reasons out there, but a lot of these same principles apply. If it's something that is a positive thing, be sure to share that. One more thing before I let you guys go. If you share with someone, hey, I can't dance right now because I'm in pain and you just got hurt, this is something to think about, right? What might happen later on is the person might come up to you if they see you at another social, or they'll see you later on in the night, or at the end of the night, they'll come up to you and they'll say, hey, how are you doing? Are you feeling okay? How's your leg feeling? How's your surgery? How's whatever the case may be, right? And what could have been a negative rejection or taken as a negative rejection has now formed a friendship. And that's a very beautiful thing. Sometimes saying no, if you say it the right way, will actually turn into something positive. So think about that for the night, guys. You have a great night, and I'll see you guys on the dance floor. Hopefully I won't say no.